Today, I'm delighted to introduce two tech persons in the team. We have Brecht Sannen and Jonathan van Gimbergen here today, who will talk to you about everything related to workspace and security. Both have, I think, even around 10 years or almost 10 years experience. I think you're between 5 and 10 somewhere. I don't know yet, out of my mind. But you're definitely the tech leads in the team with the most experience. So I'm delighted to follow the session today as well, to be inspired, because I know what you're doing on a high level basis, but not in detail. So they will talk to you today in this fourth session on security. I'll quickly wrap up with just a summary slide, Brecht. Oh, yeah, I can co-host. I can click myself. Voila. So Google Workspace, as we have introduced you before as well. We have talked about the collaboration and the productivity suite before. So today in this session, we talk about the third pillar that you see here right on the screen, all about the control and security. Different aspects will be talked about, and especially as well BeyondCorp will be explained and introduced to you today by our tech heroes. So Brecht, Jonathan, I'll leave the floor to you.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you, Julie. So welcome everyone. Today, mainly focusing on security and secure endpoint management, actually. And we'll deep dive into our agenda. We have 4 topics today that we would like to discuss with you, and that is the first is the workplace is transforming, where we're talking about what's the general trend in the digital workplace nowadays in terms of security and where is it going. Then we would talk about endpoints in Google Workspace, which is mainly like desktops and laptops and all that you have. After that, we'll deep dive into the mobile devices and the mobile device management options you have with Google Workspace. And then also, like, how can you level up? How can you actually move towards the digital workplace of the security and have the security of tomorrow? So first thing to know, yeah, as we all know, the workplace is transforming. We see actually that users want to have more flexibility when it comes to collaborating and working together in a company. So they are actually expecting that they can access their data or work from any device anywhere, and that they actually don't have to have like a corporate device to be able to access the data. Also to quickly make notes and all of this, right? That we see that successful enterprises are making sure that you can access your content and collaborate on content throughout from anywhere. And this actually goes together hand in hand, of course, with Google, who is a cloud-first company in that aspect. And in that sense, we can also see that within the digital workplace of today, of people moving, who are enterprises who are growing, that they are actually limited and not able to offer this to their users because they're usually doing very rigid endpoint management. They have VPNs linked to on-premise resources, on-premise applications, on-premise file servers and everything. And this also makes identification and everything quite cumbersome. So not every company is ready for a cloud first and a cloud and is ready for the digital workplace that is accessible to everyone within enterprises. So we see that this is sometimes really a struggle. But yeah, the main takeaway here is that when we move to a cloud-first strategy, when we as a digital workplace enable our users to work from anywhere, right, that this doesn't take away the security aspect. So I think the main thing here that I want to say is that if everything is in the cloud, right, your security also moves towards the cloud. So where does your security go? It's no longer in the cumbersome VPNs. It's no longer on the devices, on the rigid device management that you do. No, you would actually secure your cloud and your barrier around the cloud. So that's what we mean when we say, yeah, the perimeter is really disappearing, because yeah, if it's any device that wants to connect, right, then you would actually really have to move towards a context-aware and zero trust. And of course, just because you would secure your cloud, that doesn't mean you don't need to do any device management. And there are still some device management options, so as encryption on your devices, reporting on what's actually going on your devices, managing what applications you're allowed to install, and all that. You know, these things are possible with Google Workspace, and it's something that you should still do regardless if you protect your cloud with context-aware or zero trust. So that's what we're going to deep dive a little bit more in the coming slides, where we will talk about, okay, what device management options do you actually have? And then I will pass the word on to Jonathan.
Yes, thanks, Brecht. So, hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan from the Workspace Deployment team here at Devoteam. And as Brecht explained, today we'll show you some neat features for endpoints and security and beyond. Now, we at Devoteam see 4 distinctive endpoints in today's work environment. Companies use Chrome OS, like Chromebooks and things like that, which is then all manageable from the Google Admin Console directly. We also see Windows 10 devices in most of the cases offer it, and Google side of things can offer the capability of managing policies and configurations with the help of a Google credential provider, which we'll deep dive on in a few slides further. But to lift the veil on that one, you can, for instance, configure that you log on with Google credentials on your Windows device. Now, for Macintosh, the options are somewhat more limited today, but there are best practices that we can show you to make it manageable inside your professional environments. And we are, in that case, leaning on the Chrome browser, which we see as a very big distinctive endpoint. The Chrome browser is, as a whole, as well directly manageable from the Google Admin Console. And as you probably know, the Chrome browser is available for many, if not all, of today's operating systems in professional environments. So maybe to get a feel around the room, what type of endpoints do you use today inside your environment? Is it mostly Windows 10? Is it mostly Macintosh? Are you already on a Chrome environment, being it mostly Chrome OS? Or do you do Chrome browser management for any of these operating systems? I see the votes coming in. Okay, cool. Yep, today's world is still leaning towards Windows, we can see. Ah, we have someone who does Chrome browser management already. Very cool. Okay, so if I timestamp the poll here, we see we have 3 votes on Windows 10, 2 votes on Mac. That's very distinctive of the things that we see today, huh? And very cool that someone is already doing Chrome browser management stuff. So if we're talking Chrome browser management or Chrome Enterprise, with Chrome Enterprise, you can quickly manage, deploy, and secure your Chrome OS devices. It's very scalable and it's all cloud-based, so it's also managed directly from the Google Admin Console. You can manage many types of configurations and policies like Wi-Fi, single sign-on features, basically anything that today you would see inside your admin console. The security features will also allow you to remotely manage any device in that sense. And there's also like a zero-touch enrollment feature for devices, making it very easy to deploy Chrome OS devices within the enterprise. And these are the features that you have on Chrome OS, but this also relates then to the Chrome browser. And so if we're talking Chrome Enterprise, we're also talking about Chrome browser management, where we can leverage those kinds of things that we do on Chrome OS, but also inside the Chrome ecosystem, so also the Chrome browser. And you can configure things like access to data, access to certain applications or services, thus allowing you to leverage that power, not only on Chrome OS devices, but any device that supports the Chrome browser and that you have then in your Chrome Enterprise management way of working. Now, on a Windows 10 device, to zoom on that, you can take advantage of the help of the GCPW or the Google Credential Provider for Windows. You can enroll and manage your Windows devices in this fashion, set policies, and apply custom settings. Custom settings like screen lock time, USB drive enablement or disablement, wallpapers, certain GPO policies that can be pushed. A lot can be done already today. Now, leveraging that Google credential provider allows employees, as you see in the little screenshot there, to log on to a Windows system with their Google Cloud identity. And as an administrator, you can even leverage that you specify only which domain or domains can be used to log on to such a Windows device, for example. A company can choose to have several brands, and we can only limit people to log on with that brand name inside the domain name of their user, but not another one, for instance, as well as gmail.com if people use personal Gmail accounts. So there are very much possibilities on a Windows 10 device to manage these things. And for Macintosh, yeah, we can suggest the best practices is to actually employ again the Chrome Enterprise ecosystem on these devices to safeguard everything within that Chrome ecosystem again. Through the use of third-party integrators like Jamf, for example, more options will become available to you. But there are several key features already present to manage Macintosh systems. But best practice, we always point towards that Chrome browser management. Now, I'm always repeating the Chrome browser management. The managed Chrome browser will be the most holistic approach, in our opinion, to manage, due to the nature that it's available on multiple, if not being all, the professional operating systems we see today in the ecosystem. It allows you to completely manage the policies and security features within Chrome, and also to audit and log that activity so that you can ensure compliance and data security. And if need be, you can, with this fashion, not only manage that over your company managed devices, but also if you are supporting a bring your own device strategy, translate that to that ecosystem as well. You are managing users and their behavior and the data in your environment, and not directly then the devices in that sense. So for your mobile devices, Google Workspace also provides solutions in this manner. I don't know if anyone here in the room already manages their mobile devices directly with Google Workspace. You can raise your hand if you do. No hands raised. That's in a sense great. You will learn a lot from this session. Patricio, yes, thank you. Very cool. So maybe you know, or maybe you don't know, inside your current Google system, there is already a lot of possibilities to manage mobile devices or endpoints for that matter today. You simply have to activate it. For mobile devices, for example, Google Workspace supports a very broad selection of features over Android and iOS, to be frank. Workspace does fully support Android ecosystem. iOS will be less, but most of the key features are covered today. We're talking app management, feature controls, or security settings. Most of these things are possible. This can go from managing to monitoring and securing the company-owned inventory, or bring your own device strategy again. You can switch that up with the basic and advanced management way of working, where the biggest note to make is that the advanced way of working lets you enforce a work profile on a phone, for example, separating the work environment from the personal one. This gives you control over this part to prevent data loss and manage, monitor, and secure that device for the company. Now on iOS, this is a bit different, of course. Touch upon that on the next slide. But inside the admin console, for example, taking a quick screenshot there, the administrator of your company can see a full list of mobile devices that have tried or are connected to your professional environment. And you can see in this list the type, the model, you can see the last time they tried to connect or synchronize their data, things like that. And these details give you more leverage and more insight on what is happening within the company, and also where am I exposing my data to, for example. To review in this breakdown as well, you see that iOS does not fully support the work profile way of working that Android fully supports. Well, not yet at least. It does allow you to manage most of those key features that you want to do as a company, meaning meaningful applications, whitelisting, blacklisting, or key features and policies that ensure the security of your mobile devices, or ensure the security of devices that are trying to connect to company data, and take control of that sense. Now, the world of tomorrow is also already shaping up to change very rapidly. The world of tomorrow, what Google is looking towards as well, is adopting that zero trust strategy to ensure that you reach that next level. Now, in Google terms, they call this Beyond Corp. What is a zero trust philosophy, or as Google says, a Beyond Corp? Well, Beyond Corp is the zero trust philosophy that Google has developed, but also use themselves, and where they rely on general pillars around threat and data protection through the entire Chrome ecosystem, protection of internal applications in that sense, being it internal applications, on-prem applications, SaaS applications, or even cloud resources for that matter. They leverage the context of user identity states and device states, for instance, that when persons are logging on, they are gathering the data or the posture of the identities and the devices, in a sense that where are they logging on from? What time is it? How long ago did they log on? Things like that. And by that granular design, we can take that information and make rules that the rules engine will then enforce, in a sense that I only want an application that has sensitive user data to only be accessed by a user that is inside Europe, for example. Or I only want them to access it during office work hours. Things like that can be determined. And then through the rules engine, we can deny or accept that attempt to connect to a resource and the applications that we mentioned before. And this can be a very powerful partner in the strategy for zero trust capabilities. Now, the whole Beyond Corp philosophy that Google wants to bring forward, it leans on advanced capabilities of Chrome, like the real-time phishing and malware protection it provides. We want to protect sensitive data through the data loss prevention service that it offers. And the visibility and the insights through reporting will ensure that compliances are being met. And again, to reiterate, everything that we're talking about is still, everything is managed directly from the Google Admin Console. So one point to manage the entire security posture of your environment. Talking about data loss prevention, for example, this is a very powerful tool that we are able to, for example, prevent certain content from being uploaded or downloaded. With data loss prevention, you can check the content of the files moving in or out of the environment. And then we can, as administrators, decide what we would do with this information. Would we prohibit the download of personal data or company credit card information, for example? People who are trying to do this will be blocked by the services to be able to extract this information. We can also label this information or direct it inside the right directories. So I hope these examples were very enlightening for you, and we open the floor to any questions you might have today.
Thank you, Jonathan. Is there anybody who's actually already using the endpoint features? We saw a lot of Windows 10 responses on the polls. Do you guys already use Windows 10 or the GCPW in the Google Admin Console, or are you using another tool like Intune?
I will stop the recording already so we can speak openly if it helps. So wait for a minute.